Like I said, man, I'm trying to get used to vlogging because my goal is to essentially talk about what's on my mind. I ain't in it for no other reason. It's like therapy for me to just, talk about what happens for people like us. As I said in the previous video, I got 11 trucks, including a little day cab that I drive part-time. I'm based out here in North Carolina, so naturally spend most of my time in my day cab, kicking it around, within a... Get that out your mouth, boy. Come here. Come here. Within a 2-3 hour radius of Charlotte, North Carolina. But needless to say, I go through the same thing some of you OTR guys go through. I mean, when I first started out, like I said, man, I bought 2 trucks, put my cousin in one, and I put one of my partners that I met in summer school, I'm crazy, in trucking school up in another. But that first year, whole lot of ups and downs. My cousin was good, he was just happy to have a job. And back then I used to send trucks pretty much everywhere, man. Midwest, Southeast mainly. And I also, that second guy ended up being a bozo, so I had to fire him. And then I ended up with a lot of different bozos, man. I had guys jump in the truck, excited to work once they start making money every week, Just like anybody else, they get lazy. Because back then I used to have my guys out 10 days and then home 2 days, something like that. But anyway, man, I had guys. I had this one guy in particular. He lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. Had a wife. But what I didn't know is when he was hitting the road, he was taking his mistress with him, I had no idea, I didn't really care. As long as you was on time, picking up, delivering, submitting your paperwork, your logs were straight, I ain't care, But one day I get a phone call. He was delivering Budweiser in South Bend, Indiana. I get a call from the Budweiser people. They're like, hey, man, your driver just got arrested, and we need somebody to move this truck. Mind you, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina at that time. I had my CDL, but I hadn't actually ever driven a freaking truck because that wasn't my goal. I mean, I drove it in terms of in trucking school, and when I was buying trucks, I was test driving them, blah, 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 but I never actually hauled a load by myself, So I had to jump on a plane, fly to South Bend, Indiana. I get there, they're telling me this dude, because prior to that, I had no idea that this guy had a passenger in the truck with him, because they wouldn't tell me what he got arrested for until I got there. But anyway, I get there, I found out he had some chick in the truck with him. He beat her up, it was blood all in my truck. And this, the lady, when they arrived at the beer place, just jumped out the truck screaming while he was in there trying to get him paperwork. And from my understanding, like right across the street or something like that is the county jail, so it was no problem in getting cops there to come get him. So that was the first time I ever actually had to jump in my truck and freaking drive it, I had to, excuse the noise, man. My son is running around and my dog is chasing him. But anyway, that was the first time I actually had to start hauling freight myself, I had to get unloaded there in South Bend, Indiana. Then I had to pick up the next load. Pick up. See? That's what happened. I had to pick up the next load and take it to like Michigan, and then from Michigan to Charlotte. Anyway, it was the first time. Oh, you good? It's the first time I ever actually had to haul freight. I made it back to North Carolina safely or whatever. Then promptly hired somebody else to put in the truck. And it just opened my eyes to the fact that people crazy, man. I think the guy I hired after him, my guys get paid every Friday. I hired this one guy, white guy. He worked for me fine for about 3 weeks. Then I get he had a load that had to deliver on like a Saturday morning. So Friday night he parked at a Walmart, store. And then, I had these GPS locators on my truck. So I'm tracking my truck Saturday morning because I hadn't heard from him. And he had like a 7, 8 a.m. delivery. I'm like, yo, why is my truck at this location? I do because it gives you like the latitude, longitude. I do a Google search and I see it's like a truck shop or some shit. So I'm like, why the hell is my truck there and not, where it's supposed to be? I'm calling the driver, this fool. He ain't answering his phone, blah, blah. So finally I call the location of where it was saying my truck was, find out it's a tow company. My truck had been towed. I'm like, why the hell my truck been towed? This is in freaking Pennsylvania. So me and my wife jump in the car, drive to Pennsylvania. I find out my dumbass driver got arrested inside of a Walmart for shoplifting. I'm like, yo, it's Saturday morning. He just got paid Friday. His check was like $1,300. What the hell in Walmart could you not afford and you had $1,300 in you? You know what I mean? So I get my truck. They charge me $800 to get it out of tow. I get inside my truck. My truck's trashed. It's freaking beer cans, all types of shit inside my truck. And there's also cash inside my truck. It was about $2,900 in cash, which wrinkled my brain even more. I'm like, still got $2,900 in cash inside the truck. Plus, he just got a direct deposit on Friday. What the hell did this fool steal out of Walmart? I never knew because, I jumped in my truck, drove it back to North Carolina. And, I started noticing a trend, man. Like, hey, once again, I'm excited. I'm happy that I have a CDL. Otherwise, I'd be ass out trying to find somebody to go to these various locations to pick my damn trucks up. It just brought to my attention, man, that some people just simply aren't reliable, man. I never talked to the guy again, so I never figured out exactly what that fool stole or what the hell happened, I took my truck, I don't know, when if he got bailed out or like, I don't know what happened to that motherfucker, man. Gave him his last little check and never verbally spoke to him again, but it's just crazy the things you go through owning trucks, because a lot of us just think about, hey, man, it's an easy hustle, because my original gig, I was flipping real estate down here in North Carolina, man. I'm making good money then and now, just owning properties, renting them out or rehabbing them and selling them. So trucking was just mainly supposed to be an investment for me, give my cousin something to do because he couldn't find a job otherwise, and just, sit back and collect, but doesn't actually go that way all the time. The instance in which I officially started driving a lot was, what are you doing over there, boy? I had a situation where a guy I hired on a Tuesday, went through the background check, driving record, all that. He was good. He seemed like a good dude. I put him in a truck, and he was leaving Charlotte, going up to somewhere in Missouri or something. So, he hauling ass. We was on paper logs back then, so he hauling ass. He successfully delivers that load. Then on the way back, he had a load out of Missouri that was going to like Richmond, Virginia or something. So this dude, I didn't know he driving past drive time, all types of shit. Like, since he on the paper log, he figured he could be a renegade. Anyway, this fool trying to impress me didn't want to go through the little turnpike in West Virginia. He's trying to avoid tolls. I know back then it was like 3 tolls in West Virginia. They like $6.75 a piece. Something simple, man. Like $20 total. And this fool decides he wants to go around the freaking tolls to save me money, right? He would have saved me 20 damn dollars. So this fool is on some back roads in West Virginia, and long story short, he rolls my truck over into the mountains. It had been working for me for like 2 days, 3 days. Yeah, I think it was 2 days. And he done totaled my truck and my trailer. Where he was, it was no phone service. He wasn't near airport, a bus station, a train station, none of that. So I literally had to pay his sister to drive her car, a rental car that I had to pay for also, from Charlotte, North Carolina up to some small town up in West Virginia. And that's when I got a first-hand experience that insurance ain't shit. Like, you paying these insurance people all this money, and here it is, you have an accident where there's a tow involved. He was in like a nature preserve, and so he had like a Procter and Gamble load with like house cleaning supplies and detergents and shit. And so all that shit went over the mountain. So, it was we had to pay to clean that shit up. So I'm like, no worries for me. I got insurance. That's what insurance is for. I'm mad I lost money on the load. I'm mad I lost my truck. I'm mad I had to pay for his family to go pick him up and bring him back. But I'm thinking, hey, everything's all good. Not so fast. Insurance decided that since he had not been on my policy for 14 business days, that they weren't going to cover it. I'm like, hold on, man. Not only am I insured, the truck, the trailers are fully insured. You have what's called uninsured motorist insurance. You have cargo insurance. You got all this. I got like all these different types of insurance that y'all charging me a lot for. I think it was like 15, 20 grand a year or some shit. Why aren't y'all covering this? Nope. Next thing I know, I'm being sued by the tow truck company because the insurance people didn't pay them. And I'm being sued by the state of West Virginia. The total of those two bills, look at these two crazy people. Cool out. But anyway, the total of all that was like $270,000. Move. And my insurance wasn't going to cover it. And, I'm a LLC, limited liability, but, state of West Virginia got bigwig attorneys that knew everything about me somehow. I'm an LLC. I'm not a freaking sole proprietorship, but somehow they figured out everything about me and was threatening me. So long story short, I had to fork out over $200,000 cash money, or else I was going to have major legal problems. That brought a strain. I was lucky I had the money, I had it in savings. So I was able to take care of it, but it brought a strain in my relationship with my wife because my wife is upset because we hadn't even been in trucking. I mean, that accident happened in August, and we had started our company in January, February. So my wife is like, I knew this trucking thing was a bad idea. Blah, 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 blah. You know how women do. And, likewise, I'm hurt. I just lost 200 grand. I mean, so many other things I could have done if I'd have known I was going to blow 200 grand. And that started to open my eyes that, hey, man, reliable drivers are really, really, really important. So that was the point in which, I decided maybe I should drive myself or, do a little bit here and there. Had a little run that I would always do from Charlotte to Chicago and back. And once I started doing that, I really haven't gotten out of a truck since then. I had to finish that contract out. It was only a 6-month project, Charlotte to Chicago. I finished that project out, and then that's when I started doing little local things. But I've been driving since then, you know. I know I'm rambling on and it probably doesn't make much sense, but as I get better at this vlogging thing, you know, I'll divulge a lot more of the history of my company and how things go. But anyway, today's Sunday. I'm chilling on the couch with my little man who's trying to climb the steps currently. And my Akita sitting over there on the floor. I got it on like a selfie cam, so I don't even know if y'all saw that, what I tried to pan over to. But anyway, man, appreciate y'all listening. Subscribe, man. Like my videos. I'm trying to get it popping. You heard?